Okay, Steve Martin-Pinto, running for District 7. A little bit about myself. I grew up here. My mom and dad grew up here in San Francisco. My grandpa grew up here. My great-grandma grew up here. My great-great-grandma grew up here as well, back in 1840 something. So I've got a lot of history in the city. But at the same time, my paternal grandparents were immigrants from Ecuador. They came here in 52, speaking no English, having almost no money in their pocket, and they lived the American dream. They built a life for themselves here. They raised 5 kids, one of them was my father, and they were my grandpa was one of the first Hispanic doctors in the Mission District. He worked for 30 years there, and until he retired and passed away about 10 years ago. Reason why I'm running is because I grew up here. I have a lot of pride in the city, and after high school, I left. I left for about 15 or 16 years. I lived in various places around the country. I served my country in the Marine Corps for about 17 years, which I'm still a reservist. I lived in Oceanside, California. I lived in San Angelo, Texas. I lived in Detroit, Michigan, Quantico, Virginia, and Fairbanks, Alaska, as well as doing a tour overseas to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Georgia, the country where I served as a foreign military advisor and trainer. When I came back here in 2014, I got hired by the fire department, and I lived back here for the first time after leaving. And my first impression was, what the hell happened to my beloved city? What the hell happened? The homelessness was out of control. The crime was out of control. There was garbage. There was litter. There was needles everywhere, and nobody seemed to be doing anything about it in a meaningful way. So I decided, I got to do something about it. I don't know what it is, what I got to do, but I got to do something about it. So I ran for president of Sunnyside Neighborhood Association, where I live. I won. I served for 4 years in that office. Okay. I can't hear you.
Thanks very much for that statement. Do you have any questions?
No quick.
Eric, John Mark has a question for you.
Sure. So regarding what happened to the city, I think our answer to that would be the Kaufman Charter, which you indicated on the questionnaire you had not heard of. But just to summarize, it's the current city charter that gives us a strong mayor, and a mayor who's virtually untouchable in the sense that she does not have to follow city law and can pretty much do anything she wants as long as she doesn't get recalled by the voters.
Okay.
So most of us think that this charter has enabled the culture of corruption at City Hall. And we wanted to ask if you had any ideas for how you might check the executive branch and sort of decentralize power to elected officials such as yourself if you're elected supervisor.
Well, this culture of corruption is beyond the mayor, to be quite frank. It touches basically just about every department, every branch of government here. And one of the things I think we can do is quite frankly, audit and have it be a third party audit, no one inside government, no one inside SF government, but somebody from the outside, like the state auditor's office, audit all the departments, all the nonprofits that contract with the city to expose what's actually really going on, expose how the money is being spent or misspent, who's being paid off, where the contracts are going, and check those for conflict of interest. And I think doing that would expose a lot of help daylight a lot of the corruption that's going on in our city. And as we've seen today, another guy got arrested that was doing business with the city, an engineer. And this corruption goes really, really far. And, as supervisor, one of my biggest platforms and things I'm going to do is I'm going to work very hard to expose all that corruption, because frankly, there's nothing more damaging than corruption in government. It hurts everything.
Yeah, we have a question.
Can I ask a quick follow-up though?
Sure.
I mean, the issue of, I mean, I would say that more damaging than corruption is probably right now is COVID. And the mayor, you know, has been unwilling to follow the law on housing homeless people in hotel rooms. She's also been very slow about rolling out testing and contact tracing. You know, what would you have done if you were currently supervisor, you know, both to get her to follow the law and to improve the city's COVID response?
Well, you know, it's easy to say, let's just put them all in hotels. And, you know, I'm actually a frontline firefighter EMT, and you can't just put people in hotels. There's more to it than that. There's services you have to provide. There's getting the money to pay for those hotels. So I really have to disagree that she was not following the law. I think she was trying the best she could. And it's easy to say politically, oh yeah, let's put them all in hotels. But there's a whole litany of logistical requirements that you have to consider, as well as if these homeless people are COVID positive, who's going to be trained to deal with that? The hotel workers? I mean, now you're putting them at risk too. So, you know, I don't know. You know, it's hard to do. I mean, it's easy to make the request to just say put these people who are homeless in hotels, but it's actually really hard to execute. And I think the mayor was actually, quite frankly, right in saying, hey, before we do this, let's make sure we do it right. And there's a whole lot of legalities involved. There's a whole lot of responsibilities involved. So, I mean, that's my response to that.
I appreciate that answer. As you are a first responder as well, and I'm sure that you have to deal with you know, people on the street all the time. But
every day I work, I deal with that.
Okay, but I did want to ask a question related to that, because nationwide we have calls for defunding the police and to be diverting funds into other types of services, and I would like your take on that as a first responder. So
it's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea, and here's why. I'm the only candidate that says this, right? You know, by the way, and you know what we want to achieve: less police shootings, less negative police interactions, safer communities, more foot patrols. You know, all that requires the hiring of more police. All that requires more training, and all that requires the addition of less than lethal and non-lethal weapons. But at the same time, that costs money. Training costs money. If you want to achieve the things that you want to, which is less police shootings, lower crime, which we all want, it's going to cost money. And that's just the hard truth about it. And I'm not for defunding the police. We don't have enough police as it is. We haven't met our quota. Our charter said in 1994 that we have to have 1,971 police. We're not anywhere near that. Police are leaving, so we're losing even more, and it's not making our communities any safe. When we defund the police, we take police out of communities. Who hurts the most? It's not the rich people, the wealthy people, or the privileged people. It's the poor people. That's just the reality of it. Most crime happens in poor communities, and when you take the police out of those communities, they're the ones who suffer. So I actually am very much against defunding the police. I actually think we need to do the opposite, increase funding, while at the same time investing in training programs that de-escalate force. Okay, you know, I'm all for that. I want the police to be part of the community. I feel like they've been unfairly demonized in the media. A lot of these problems that apply to other departments are not, you know, in our department. I work with the police every day. They're good people, honest, hardworking people. They're not the evil people that some people say they are. They care about the community. They're from the community, and they want to see a safe San Francisco like I do. And I'll tell you one more thing too. I was involved in the UPS shooting in 2017. Do you guys remember that at all? Where 4 people died? I was in the entry team, and I was with them as a first responder. in an unknown environment. I didn't know what was going on. And I was very, very glad that I had the police by my side. If you take them away, you're putting me at risk. You're making my job more dangerous. And I don't want that. I want to go home to my family every day. I don't want to die doing my job. And I feel like if we defund the police, we're making our communities less safe. You're making me less safe in doing my job. And quite frankly, you're setting the police up for failure, which benefits nobody. And that's how I feel.
Great, thanks for the answer.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll make this statement and the question and answer period available to the public. And
Okay.
Good luck with the campaign.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again. Have a good evening.
Thank you.